All right, so picking up from where we left off with the How It All Works video, we are again here on the Google site, and we're going to discuss the planning resources and competition materials that are available for use in your classroom competition. So starting with the business plan templates for your students' presentation, we have this toolkit here for you to plan and implement your competition. So remember with these templates that all quarterfinalists, including wildcard entries, must use a Microsoft PowerPoint template. So that is why they are both here. I understand that a lot of schools might use slides for your general classroom competition, and that's totally fine. That's great. Leaving it up to the students to prepare themselves for quarterfinals and submit in the PowerPoint template. This just helps us to facilitate the event on our end without any internet glitches and just the software that we have. So that's super important. So please remember also to make a copy of the slides presentation and send it to your students. Do not send them to this site. So looking at planning your event, so everybody's school schedule is different. Some folks do this within their class period. Some people make it an event. Obviously, we all have different restraints or constraints, I should say, in our schools, and that is totally fine. So we're going to make sure that we make a schedule that fits your school's needs, your program's needs, but make sure that all students have the opportunity to present. Ideally, we're going to invite some school community audience to watch the competition. We went over in how it works. The one winner will advance automatically. We'll also have some wild card. There'll be a subsequent video about the students' winners forms and their responsibilities. So we'll talk about those things more in depth as we get to them, but I really want to focus in this video on our judges and setting up your competition so that it is a special and functional event. So let's talk about judges for a second here. So all classroom competitions should be judged. This is very different from being graded, right? They've been working with you all year. You're looking at certainly the academics and their process, but ultimately business plans are pitched to either a loan officer or a investor, and so this presentation, this pitch, stands kind of as a totally different measure for your students. So judges are going to be using a NIFTY rubric, and all judges, even at the classroom level, must be trained on the NIFTY rubric by NIFTY staff. So this is to ensure that there is fairness to all students in advance, and we're taking this super seriously. The training is actually facilitated by our national office to ensure that regional offices aren't training judges differently, and then when students get to the national level, they have been evaluated on different criteria. So it's really essential that judges participate, this note here, in their 30-minute training webinar. It is live, so they'll be able to ask questions. I think that's really, really valuable. So by following this link, they will be able to sign up for a time that works for them. I do want to note that in the folder of materials, which we'll look at more in depth in a second, this one with all the highlighting here, this is some copy to help you to explain the role and the ask, if you will, of the invite to your judges, and also is preloaded with that link, this same link from above here, so that your judges can sign up for their training. So everything you need is here. You can literally just copy and paste. This is a great document that also has been provided by our national level team, and so it comes with kind of a timeline for yourself: the invite, the confirmation for training, and then the reminder that competition is coming up. So I think this will be really valuable. Hopefully, when you download it, it won't look as crazy. And can help you to recruit and communicate with those judges. So let's actually stay down here with our folder of resources. So I'm going to open up this guidelines for classroom competitions. One of the things I love about this Google site format is that I can load this whole folder in, and then you can open each document individually, but just straight from the Google site screen. So that's great. So looking at our guidelines, materials, and run of show. This table shows different documents that are in that folder and their purpose. So we have a sample agenda to provide your judges and guests. There's the scoring rubric. We also have some quiet signs and time cards to hang on your door, in the hallway around the auditorium that you're presenting, wherever you need to hang these signs to remind folks that there are presentations in progress and to please respect that with their quiet voices. Those are there for you. And then also time cards. So students have 7 minutes and 30 seconds to present. And so we, at the regional and national level competitions, give them a warning by holding up a sheet of paper that has a 5 for you have 5 minutes left, 3 for 3 minutes left, and a 1-minute warning sign, of course. So we ask that you mirror that in your classroom competition. This is a great student leader job so that students know where they're at. It's hard to get up there and present and keep time. There's a judge's certificate template. So we expect that you are going to open this up, put your name on it so that you can sign it. It's got Scott's signature preloaded in there, and then also type the judge's name in there as well. The next step here, the gift card acknowledgement form. These accounting procedures are gone over in their own video, but all the forms that you will need are in the shared Google folder that we grabbed this document from. That is also on the launch point of the Google site. The students' acceptance forms will be also a Google form, also gone over in their own video to follow this one. But please take note of that deadline. It is April 25th. Please message this early and often to your students. It will also be heavily noted in the form itself. And then the wildcard submission also is going to be a Google form, also covered in a future video, and will provide students with all the information that they need within that form. So looking at a suggested run of show, please do make this your own. This is simply a guideline to demonstrate a structure of a typical classroom competition. Students can MC, you can MC, whatever works for you all. Looking here at the timing that is needed, roughly 15 minutes for every presentation, 7 minutes and 30 seconds to present, as well as 3 minutes for the judges' questions, 3 minutes for the judges to record feedback. I highly suggest that you actually keep time for these 3 and 3 minutes for the judges. Otherwise, you might run out of time for your scheduled presentations. It's hard to sit there in silence for 3 minutes while the judges record their feedback, but it's a really important part of the process so that your student presenters can receive that feedback after the competition is over. Judges will ask as many questions as you let them, so make sure you cut them off at that 3 minutes and try to hear from each judge that is present. So as we go through the run of show here, just some really general bullet points. Photo shoot at the end. Please make sure you take some pictures of the process of your winners. I'll create a shared Google folder for all of those pictures to be uploaded. Please make sure you label them when you upload with student names, etc., so that we know how to properly credit everybody. So again, student paperwork will be in those Google forms that we will go over. Just a few notes here, just so that we do not forget some of the important points like judges, certificates, etc. Please, this note right here, in general, we're talking about our quarterfinalists. If there's anything that you would like us to know about that student that you think is important when judging them, then let me know by email and I can express that to the judges. There is actually a place to put this on judges' forms so that they are meeting a student where they're at, looking at them holistically, as well as the criteria on the rubric. Wildcard, again, trying to be comprehensive in our overview here. These are just a few general notes, but there's a separate wildcard video and wildcard overview page. So that is all for planning your competition here. Again, looking back at the Google site, you have everything you could possibly need. So you've got, here are your judges' certificates, highlighted areas for you to fill in specific to your school. You have a scoring rubric, your quiet signs, both business plan templates again. These judge nameplates can be printed, cut, and folded over so that your judges have a name tag on the table. We have an editable agenda, those emails for inviting your judges. My slightly big checks here are a poor stand-in for the old big rewritable nifty checks that we had. This prints out on a regular piece of paper. If you hold it landscape, you can fit two. But you can fill these out for your kids, and at least they have some sort of memento while they wait for their gift cards / certificate, if you will, of their performance. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we have the wildcard process. This Google site is going to be your holy grail. This is our sacred teaching space. Looking at the progression of the competition itself, we've got at the end of the page here all of the details, locations, maps, times for the rest of the series, all the challenges, the coaching day. This is all documented in the students' forms as well, but this is here for you so that you have all of the information at your fingertips. As always, reach out with questions, and I hope this was helpful.